I'll be honest with you, I forgot to switch to the readings of the Passion of St. John the Baptist until I was halfway through the Gospel. I prepared to preach on the Passion, but we know the story well, and this Gospel is still relevant, so it's God's providence. St. John the Baptist was like the prudent and wise virgins. He did not let his lamp go out until the very end. He shone the light of Jesus up until it cost him his life. And that is what is demanded of these virgins that Christ speaks of in today's gospel, is that will we always be ready to shine the light of truth when Christ comes to call us home. That's what this represents. The bridegroom coming home is Jesus entering into his kingdom and gathering all those who have remained faithful to him up until the very end to come in with him. We know that St. John the Baptist was put to death because of pride. Herodias had her daughter do this, seductive dance in the court of King Herod, and he promised her anything, and she asked for the head of John the Baptist. And because the room was filled with his guests, he gave in, which is the tragedy. Some sins you can hide for a while, but the truth always calls them out. The light eventually shines. And when the truth is spoken, someone always pays a price. There's a cost to speaking the truth. That's what we see today in John the Baptist. He looks Herod in the eyes and says, before that gospel passage, "It is not lawful for you to have your brother's wife." Herod had taken Herodias for himself. One sentence, one act of courage, and it cost St. John the Baptist his head. Herod was divided. He knew that John was holy. He knew that he was well respected. He even enjoyed listening to the teachings of John the Baptist because he was so inspired. But he wouldn't repent. He'd rather live in chains to his sin than to risk the freedom of holiness because of how it might make him look as king. Herodias, on the other hand, she has no hesitation. She knows what she wants, and she's going to get it. John the Baptist harmed her, and so she's going to harm him so that he can no longer speak. She hates John the Baptist, and so she feeds into her grudge. And when the moment comes, through a dance, an oath, and a room filled with drunken pride, her grudge gets what she wanted, the prophet's head on a silver platter. This is how sin grows. A forbidden relationship leads to lust. Lust opens the door to pride. Pride demands the murder of a just man. And one compromise snowballs into such horrible tragedy. St. Paul, in his letter to the Romans, said, "This is the will of God, your holiness. Not your comfort, neither your compromise, but only your holiness." Everything else flows from our holiness. So here's the choice that we are forced to reconcile with today. Pay the price of holiness or pay the price of sin. John paid with his life, but he gained eternity. He was found watchful and vigilant when the bridegroom came to carry him home. Herod clung to his sin, and he eventually lost everything. His kingdom collapsed. The Eucharist we celebrate now is not a banquet of indulgence. It's a banquet of truth. Here Christ offers not the head of a prophet, but his very own body and blood for our salvation. In the end, the Eucharist demands an answer from us to the question, what price are we willing to pay to walk in holiness and truth?